I don't see anything or any statement that he's ever made that's racist. I mean, there's things that there's accusations, but there's no facts behind it.
And then
I don't know. That's because that's a very, I guess, unless he's objectively doing racist things. So if I can't objectively point to something where it's like, oh yeah, here's a video of Trump saying that I hate all black people and I only want white people to win. What's poppin', everybody?
Welcome back to the Cold Popcast.
I'm Zoe.
And I'm Steve.
And Jubilee has a new video format that we are going to be exploring today. It's called 20 versus 1. And so far, they've done a couple of topics. One's political based or just general social commentary based. So we're going to do a quick reaction to a couple of those and just have fun with the episode.
Yeah, Jubilee's take on 20 versus 1 is not the usual 20 versus 1 that you'd be expecting. Yeah, I know. You guys are degenerates.
Yeah.
This actually takes on a format of basically having 20 people of one perspective go up against one usual, like, sort of, what would you call, like a domain expert in a certain field.
Yeah.
And then they just argue, but they have like a buzzer or something to like make them rotate or something.
Yeah, or basically they have like a system where it's like a time, like the person who's talking will be on a timer for how long they can participate with the one person. And people can vote them out early by waving up like red flags, and if there's like 10 or more, they're like more than 10 flags up, then that person gets removed.
So it's basically like if you're on the side with like the 20 or 25 people, then you can vote them out of the chair so they can't speak anymore, out of the hot seat, so to speak.
Yeah, so someone else can take their place.
Yeah, so they don't ruin your argument before you get to take your chance to make the argument.
Yeah.
But this first one includes, what is the title? Leezy, can you read that?
Yeah, men's rights activists versus feminists.
Thanks, Leezy.
Thanks. Yeah, no problem.
So men's rights activists.
Yeah, we've traded souls for this episode.
All right, let's go ahead and see this first video.
People don't respect sex workers because it's easy to take your clothes off. That's why they don't respect them.
It's also easy to open your mouth and talk.
People respect things that are hard. And sex work, OnlyFans, that's not hard.
And why is it that people still respect like Leonardo DiCaprio sleeping with small? It's really easy for him to do that. Nobody bats an eye.
For him sleeping with who?
With younger women. When extremely rich and wealthy,
I don't think
successful
that's
men.
common.
Wait, when
I think more men
extremely
would
rich,
do it.
successful, healthy, and good-looking men sleep with a lot of women, even though it's easy for them to do so, they're not looked down on for the same way that, like, for example, a sex worker may be using her body. It's also important to note that, like, this whole idea of like sex workers and OnlyFans girls like making a ton of money is extremely new. Who owns like 99% of the actual industry in the production studios? It's men. Men historically and even today still are the ultimate benefactors of women's sexuality.
And men only started getting upset about porn and all this stuff when women started making their own money on OnlyFans. Men did not complain about porn before the proliferation of OnlyFans. These podcasts did not exist back then.
Pearl, what do you think?
So basically, that's weird to me because, like, Pearl, I don't know, this is like I didn't watch these clips before putting them up, but it seems like they didn't really, like, encapsulate the whole 20 versus 1 idea. You would think they would do, like, a quick clip of each part of the conversation.
This one wasn't 20 versus 1.
Oh, what was this one?
This one was was like the versus. That's why I was like,
it's just middle ground.
Yeah, it's middle ground.
Oh, well, what the fuck? Why'd you let me play this?
I didn't realize until it started playing. I was like, wait a second, I don't think this is the format Steve was talking about.
Oh, well, go to the other one then.
We're not even gonna talk about it.
Either way, we can talk about it, I guess. Yeah, let's pretend it was 20 versus 1.
It might as well have been, right?
Yeah, right.
It was only one Pearl and like 4 other people against her. So yeah.
So she was definitely on the side of reason, but
hey,
I would say so.
Yeah, like, I mean, arguing in favor of sex work is kind of wacky, to be honest. Like, in a modern world where women can literally do any type of work, choosing sex work, it's like, why do that? But I guess people have the freedom to do whatever they want with their bodies, but encouraging it, I don't think that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, I would say with their arguments, like, for the one thing, like the one guy was like, oh, well, she argued that people don't respect sex workers because of the profession and what it entails. It's not hard. Basically women are profiting off of an act that's very easy to do, and therefore, it's not respectable. And then there's also the social tie of like, does that degrade your value as a person? Yeah,
and then the tie-in of Leonardo DiCaprio was just so nonsensical, where it was like, what did he say? He was like,
well, he said like, well, it's easy for Leo to get sex and people respect him, for it. But I think that argument isn't necessarily one-to-one, because it's like, well, Leonardo DiCaprio was a person that defined themselves through their acting career. He just is able to have sex easily with
He's not being
women.
paid for sex.
Yeah, it's not like
completely different.
yeah, it's a difference in the aspect that like he's not respected because he can date young girls. That's like a bonus of his lifestyle, but like it's not something that is like the main reason that people look up to Leo.
Yeah, so like Pearl was taking on the anti-feminist approach, and they were the feminists, I guess. But it's funny, like I've seen a lot of memes that basically can be summed up with like it's like a guy, and then there's like the word feminist written over his head,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a woman, and he's like, "Take your clothes off." Oh wait, shit, I can't remember the joke.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Steve, you're bombing. Get off stage.
Well, basically, the idea is just basically like men telling women to do what they want supposedly, but then at the same time it benefits the men's sexual desire usually. In terms of feminism, I guess is kind of what I was getting at, but
Okay.
I can't think of the actual meme, so I'm not gonna even try.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I think the only other point that was brought up there, and like I said, we don't got to linger around it too long. It's just when she had said, "Oh, men didn't care about, or didn't have like cavalier mentalities towards like porn until women started being able to make their own money from it with OnlyFans." I don't think that's necessarily true. I think
Seemed true.
yeah, I think it wasn't as like I don't think there was like the medium or platform for people to like vocally be as like the outreach wasn't that prevalent back then because one, OnlyFans basically made it so that a lot of girls now can easily get into it, which created like an overabundance in the industry than there used to be and an easier access for most people than there used to be. So I think that may have just fueled the same mentality that was already there to become even bigger. Just like, porn always existed, but OnlyFans just made it easier for it to exist in like the mainstream.
Yeah.
I
think
So I don't think it was like, they started getting angry after that. I think they've always had that vocal group that now has a voice, and it's now more easy for people to see what they're saying. But yeah.
I don't think that there's ever been a point in time after the advent of the video camera that your daughter doing porn wasn't seen as a bad thing.
Yeah, that's another thing. Cause I'm like, I don't think because it's this weird argument I see a lot of times. I guess where they're trying to make like I'm not saying you have to like I guess be disparaging to a person's value for like doing it, but to sit here and try to pretend that it's something that should be promoted or that it isn't something that like most people probably don't want to do in general, I think it's disingenuous. It's like a lie. It's like if you ask most parents and you ask them, do you want your daughter to grow up to do porn? They're probably going to say, I'd rather her not.
Yeah.
Because it's like an intrinsic thing to where you don't want someone's, because with porn, you're naturally inviting someone to basically be judged and paraded as though their body is like an icon. And, that inherently is going to introduce that concept of like, the loss of a person's value because now you've tied like your worth both as a person and as a sexual being to your ability to just have sex with people.
Right. Actually, let's move on because I actually want to come back to this topic in an actual episode. Like I want to do a whole episode on this topic. Actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and do the next clip. Oh look, it's Roosevelt. Welcome in, man.
Hey.
Well, Trump is a racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. But play this video. Well, just pause. Press the pause button. Fuck it.
All right, pause it. We're going to splice them in. And we're back. We just had to slightly pause because one of our reoccurring hosts has just showed up. Roosevelt, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on, family? Y'all already know who it is, man.
Hey.
It's your boy, bro, man. I'm
been
back
a
in the
minute.
saddle. You
There
know
you
what I'm saying?
Throw up a couple of gang signs represent.
Represent the South Side. Come on. Let's go ahead and see it.
Show everyone where you're from.
All
All right. So he's back. We got him. All right, everyone. We're back into it. We got the next one.
So this topic.
This topic is, I'm assuming, because I saw a little bit of the episode, they're talking basically another 20 versus 1. I can't really read it, but it was basically one Trump supporter versus, non-Trump supporters.
No, it's the opposite. It's can one woke teen survive 20 Trump supporters?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oops.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and see that.
All right.
I don't see anything or any statement that he's ever made that's racist. I mean, there's accusations, but there's no facts behind it.
In the 1970s, there's civil litigation held against him by the DOJ of the state of New York for literally not renting to black people.
But yet, he employs a lot of minorities. He employs a lot of blacks, Asians, Hispanics. So why wouldn't he be renting to black people? That doesn't make any sense. Also,
because it's an example of racism.
But also is an example that the Department of Justice is weaponized against people that do something in life.
When he was in office, he gave funding to HBCUs.
Do you know how much funding he sent to HBCUs?
A decent amount. I can't give you the exact
So the
numbers,
exact amount was $250 million per year.
Okay.
Do you know how much Obama's administration and Biden's administration have sent?
I would like to hear it.
Obama sent $1 billion a year, and Biden sent $4 billion a year.
I think the whole premise is he's a racist, he's a sexist, takes away from policy positions that we should be discussing. The Biden administration and the Harris administration have failed this nation, and they have allowed this invasion of our country, and Americans are dying, and sorry, these gang members should not be here.
So would you say we had an undocumented migrant that was like a felon, a sexual abuser, right, a violent offender, that they shouldn't be allowed in the country?
100%. None of these people should be without process.
Okay, so my question to you would be, well then why do you want a criminal, felon, sexual abuser to run the country? Donald Trump is a racist.
Oh man,
that guy's definitely a woke teen. Fits fully.
I mean, I'll give him this. He was definitely firing back hard.
He was well put together.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like a TikTok guy. He does a lot of
like
TikToks.
19.
That makes you can tell like he's like Destiny almost, and it says that like he knows how to argue his point.
Yeah, he's like probably the type of guy Leezy would stroke his meat to all night, like watching like political opinions.
Yeah, I like that kid. He's a kid. So yeah, I like it too.
Well, he's not a kid. He's an adult. He's 19.
Yeah,
he's big enough.
He's
So
old
he
enough for
just
you.
like anti.
Yeah, he's like anti-Trump. He's anti-conservative. He hates conservative everything, and basically, like, obviously, I'm biased against the guy. But man, I wish we would have watched less of that so I could remember like what even happened in that. So what were the talking points?
Well, one was is Trump racist, and one of the talking points was I know the first guy was talking about how like he hires black people, or he was saying Trump's racist. Yeah, because the one guy was arguing that like, oh, well, Trump hires black people, and the other guy said something, but I forgot.
The other one
Somebody
was
said,
HBCUs.
He
Yeah.
don't rent to black people or
Yeah,
something
they were
like
saying
that?
he
Oh
don't
yeah,
rent
he
to
don't rent to black
but
people.
that was in the
Sued for that.
70s.
Yeah.
So that was at least.
That was
4
when
years
no
ago.
one was renting to black
Yeah,
people.
that was like when renting to black people was kind of a liability.
Yeah, it's like, why would I
people
do
might
that?
come burn your whole building down.
Yeah, they're gonna come Soul Train lining in my hotel. Absolutely not.
They're just lining up to get some chicken. But
I don't know. They're still alive for some open season shit.
But yeah, no. The point of one of those guys, he said like Trump only donated like 250 million to HBCUs, and Obama did a billion rather.
Yeah, $1 billion to $4 billion.
And then Biden did 4 billion. But I feel like don't colleges make enough money?
Yeah, but those
they
are just,
need
those are
more
just the white
billions?
ones, Steve. The white colleges make enough money. We don't.
Yeah. You telling me HBCUs don't just suck money out of black people? Come on.
I mean, they
I would
might.
think they make some good money.
Yeah, I would
assume.
think so as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the sports, don't HBCUs have like good sports usually?
I don't know.
You know what? They should, and it's weird that they don't. Or
They
they
don't?
because I feel like they don't have like it. That's a very weird call. I heard that like an argument point on another show, but it's like with blacks being like dominantly the best athletes in the world, why would HBCUs have literally the most dominant sports teams like ever? And I think a lot of that probably comes with the fact that, I mean, maybe the money has something
Maybe
to do
they
with
don't
it.
have enough funding.
Yeah, we don't have the funding to like recruit them, because like why would they go to an HBCU where it's like, okay, I can build this team up and bring notoriety, but Duke off rip is offering me like $1 million as a kid coming out of high school, you know, or like offering you like NBA level
sponsorships.
yeah, sponsorships. So it's like I think that's also a thing. But I'm not like well researched enough, but I think that's actually a really good topic. HBCUs should literally have the most dominant sports teams.
All right, well,
like,
is
out
Trump
there.
racist?
I'm
just kidding.
Is he?
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I don't even know how that's
I
like.
don't even know.
I don't even know how you really argue if someone's racist.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. That's a very. I guess unless he's objectively doing racist things. So if I can't objectively point to something where it's like, oh yeah, here's a video of Trump saying that I hate all black people and I only want white people to win. Like if there was that, then yeah, I could objectively argue he's racist. But you're kind of just using like very nuanced like scenarios to see if this guy's racist.
I got a question for you, Zoe.
Yeah.
All right. So, would you want a rapist, murderer, felon to be kicked out of the country?
Absolutely.
Well, then why would you want to elect one as president?
I guess you got me.
Rapist, murderer, felon.
Yeah, he's a rapist, a murderer, NFL.
I murder like criminal, I guess.
Yeah, criminal. Well, why would you want a criminal to be your president if you want murderers and rapists to get kicked out of the country?
Well, my thing is, I don't know.
Don't just put him on a spot like that.
Yeah,
right.
Rapist, murder.
Yeah, I just want him to tell me what it is, man. What's
Yeah,
going
it's
on?
funny. Yeah, it almost felt like I didn't like exactly spell out what I was trying to say, because in that case we wouldn't need jails. We would just kick everyone out the country, right?
Yeah. No, we should.
Yeah.
What
What if we did do that? What if we just got rid of the prison system and just like exiled
Just
people?
start exiling again.
Yeah.
Put them on an island and let them just murder each other.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be a
I
good
don't
movie.
think
I'd
Trump
support
is
that.
racist.
It'd be like The Purge. Huh?
I don't think Trump is racist. I feel
Yeah.
like
The
Really?
Purge,
what's
right?
Sounds like
the
a good one.
Purge.
Or
Yeah.
Battle Royale. No,
Oh yeah, it is.
Rosie was talking.
Yeah, it's, I want to call it The Conduit. It's the one with like Steve Austin, right? They drop him on an island. They gotta kill each other. Yeah.
What movie you talking about?
Interesting.
It was a movie like it starts with a C. I forget what it was, but it was like they televise it, and it's like a bunch of felons on death row are dropped on an island. They basically got to like kill each other, hunger style games while it's being broadcast. It's like entertainment for the people. And I don't think it's a conduit, but like they got to kill each other, Hunger Games style, and the winner earns their freedom. And just type in Steve Austin Hunger Games. Just type in Steve Austin Hunger Games. I promise you will get the name of that movie.
Right, but why do we want the name of the movie? What the fuck are we doing?
I just really gotta know what the fuck it was. I really do.
Steve Austin.
The
Hunger
Condemned.
Games
That's what it
Simulator.
was. The Condemned. Yes.
I want to play the Steve Austin Hunger Games Simulator. All right. Anyway, back to the point. What were you saying? About?
Yeah, no, I don't think Trump racist. He just say a lot of dumb shit. I feel like. I do feel like Trump. He could be the first president to do something significant for black folks, and here's why. I know Trump know that the black dollar is powerful, and he a businessman first. You feel me? So I feel like if he get in office, he has the potential to like make a move to earn him some black dollars, but at the same time help black people. You feel me? Because it's a business move. It's like, why not do that? I
like
know
that.
he knows that.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he already kind of like showed that when he made like those. Didn't he release like a shoe? For
golden shoes.
Golden Jordans or something.
Pull that up. I seen a glimpse of it.
Like I think like that's like the most like direct example of knowing the power of the black dollar when you're just like, I have a gym shoe. Yeah, there it is. That I'm going to release exclusively in black neighborhoods, and we're gonna see how this sells.
That's the MAGA ones.
Well,
Yeah, the MAGA ones.
Would you cop?
I would cop.
I would too.
Of course I
ain't
cop.
even gonna fly.
Yeah.
I would.
I rock the shit out of that. I rock that to this day.
I mean, $200. That's not bad.
Doesn't matter what holiday's going on.
Obama needs to step his game up, bro.
Well, Obama's not running anymore, but
I'm just saying. But he could, he could still drop a shoe.
He could drop some shoes. I don't know why he hasn't done it.
The Obeezies.
The OBZ.
The OB.
The OBZ3.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and see the next video. This is can 25 liberal college students outsmart one conservative?
Yeah, that one.
Abortion is murder and should be illegal. Well, what does fetus mean?
A fetus is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
What the? I'm sorry. Is this
It means little human being.
Ooh, his smile is very creepy. Okay.
Smiling is creepy.
No, your smile specifically.
Got it.
But let's go back to. We're losing track here.
No, but what species is the fetus?
The fetus is not a species yet. It's technically classified as a parasite until it is viable.
So,
no, I want to talk to you about something very quickly.
I can't let you get past that. Are you
sorry.
saying a baby is a disease or a tumor?
A parasite is not a disease and a tumor. Those are not the same thing. A parasite is defined as something that cannot survive outside of its host. A baby, before it is viable, cannot survive outside of a woman's womb.
Got it. So let's extrapolate that.
It is not a living organism.
Are old people with Alzheimer's and dementia that are being assisted every day, are they parasites?
No, they're not parasites. They're human beings who are on the brink of death.
Got it. So they're
not going to be able to survive.
My 4-month-old that requires mom's breast milk and requires daily changes and feedings cannot survive without its own. is my 4-month-old a parasite?
Your baby can breathe on its own. Your baby can drink water from its mouth to its stomach.
But it cannot.
Your baby can
it
eat
hunt?
food.
Can it gather? Can it reason?
But that's not what qualifies something as being
okay,
a
so
living organism. Being a living organism simply means
abortion is murder.
Yeah, no, that argument is just her argument is funny. Like you can tell her argument isn't really necessarily that good because she kind of just moves beyond every question he asked. Just kind of.
Yeah. Well, that's why you can tell he's like trying to nail her down somewhere. Otherwise, she's just gonna keep trying to pass the question.
She shifts it slightly to the right.
The question, he didn't understand the question. Well, he didn't word his questions that actually went to the core of what she's saying.
Well, he said something like, "What was the start like? Abortion is murder." And she basically said that a baby is a parasite, or a fetus is a parasite.
No,
his counter was
scientifically classified as a parasite.
His counter was terrible because he said like an old person that's dying is like similar to that.
Yeah, and then he also said a 4-month-old baby.
Well, yeah,
they're both equal. All three are basically all dependent on other people.
Her point is they're alive outside of the person.
Right, but they wouldn't be alive for long without another person.
I'm just saying that's her.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying her argument sucks.
But what made her,
I already knew
what
you
made her say that anyway? Like, I never even heard that before.
Yeah,
that a baby is a fetus is a parasite.
It's technically or scientifically a parasite.
People that will describe a fetus as a clump of cells will generally say that it is also a parasite.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of the abortion isn't murder rhetoric is like hinging on the fact of them disproving disvaluing the value of a fetus's life. Basically,
you almost said baby. You wanted to say baby.
Yeah, baby. Because they don't like I said, the argument against or for abortion. It like only really holds together as long as I can prove that this thing isn't like really alive and has no value. So a lot of times you got to take like which I'm like, listen, if that's the stance, like I would say stand on it. Like if you're like, yo, this thing's a parasite, I'm not going to call it a baby. That's a clump of, invasive, molecular, whatever the hell, but it's definitely not a human. Then, just stand on it. But like, you got to be willing to call that baby a fucking inner terrorist.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you gotta call it. You gotta call it like a terrorist or something.
My thing with that though is like if you were to take like the
terrorist.
average like pro-abortion or whatever pro-choice type person, and then they get pregnant, and then you walk up to them and say, "Hey, can I pet your fetus?" And then you start rubbing their stomach, they'd probably be like pretty weirded out by that.
Yeah.
Right? Can I touch the fetus?
Well, here's my thing.
You're not technically touching the fetus. You touching the
Well, yeah, but if you said, "Can I touch the baby?" or whatever the fuck, whatever they say when they rub the stomach, right? Like
touch the baby.
Or like, I can feel my fetus kicking inside of me.
It wouldn't be a fetus at that point though. It'd be a baby.
Why? What are you talking about?
Because a fetus can't kick.
Yeah, it can if it's inside.
I thought a fetus was the cluster of cells.
No, the thing is a fetus until it's actual baby.
It's the actual baby though. If it's kicking, it's the actual baby. It's just still in the stomach.
No, it's still in development, I think.
Well, I'd agree because think about it. If
Well,
I agree with
then
Roosevelt.
what happens when you abort a 9-month-old fetus?
Well, you're killing a baby.
Well,
think about it. No, I'm saying that makes sense because I'm like, even the law recognizes like a fetus as a baby. Because if I kill a pregnant woman, I get charged with double murder.
Oh no, I'm not here arguing in favor of abortion, guys. Chill out. All right?
No,
I'm
get
the
you
most
ain't devil's
anti-abortion
advocate.
one here.
No, I'm setting you up. You're gonna knock him down. I know where you stand.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that it's like the fetus is well, I think using the word fetus, because like in my opinion, the word fetus doesn't disqualify it from being a human life.
Yeah.
But when people use the word fetus generally on the pro-choice side, they're basically saying that it's not a baby or it's not a human life. They're saying it's a fetus, which is different, and it can be killed at your discretion, which I don't agree with, and I can't even say like to each their own on that one because I really disagree with that super hard.
Yeah, my whole thing is I'll just say like I think like her like if you're pro-choice, I'm not against pro-choice necessarily, but I think you also need to just admit that like call it what it is. Like I don't care about killing babies.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that too.
Yeah, just like it's call it what it is. I don't care about killing babies. If you can say that, then I'm not gonna fight you because I'm like, oh well, shit. Some people don't care. Some people don't care for ice in their drink. Some people don't care about killing a baby.
I wish we could play. I wish we could. That's funny as fuck. I wish we could play the damn Andrew Schultz joke, but he literally said like on stage, he was like, yeah, you might be pro-choice until the 10th abortion or some shit. Like at the 10th abortion, you're gonna realize that you're gonna think like, damn, Like 10 is too many. Like, like you're pro-choice until you meet someone that's had 10 abortions is basically the joke.
That is
like
funny,
if
yeah.
you know someone that has had 10 abortions, you're not gonna trust that bitch's decisions.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
No, that is
More than one is wild to me. I feel like everybody deserves a second chance, right? We all make mistakes, cool. But the second one, you got to keep it. Like, I feel like everybody should get one.
Yeah, you get one little. You get one shot.
You get one shot.
Like Eminem.
You get one, and then after that, you feel me? If you make the same mistake again, you gotta live with it.
Yeah,
at that point.
It's like if you're a job recruiter and it's like you find out someone that you're interviewing got fired from a job one time, but like their record other than that's been used like pretty good. It's like okay, mistakes happen, but then you got a person that find out they got fired from like their last 10 jobs. You're gonna just be like it's like okay, like so what the fuck's going on? Like you gotta explain this. Something's wrong.
Terminated.
Yeah.
All 10 of them. All right, this is the last one. Let's go ahead and see the 20 criminals versus 1 cop. They say some really stupid shit in this one. That's why I wanted it to be last.
Are you racist?
No, but y'all is.
No, you said you hate cops. Are you racist?
I hate them. All of them.
All right, so
y'all killed my cousin for no reason.
So the reason I ask if you're racist, because the definition of racism is treating a group of people differently by the way they look or what they do. Actually, it's bigotry.
Ooh.
Okay. You said you hate cops because you had a bad interaction with a cop or a small group of cops. So for you to hate a group of people by the interactions based on one person, it's irresponsible.
It is?
Yes.
You should take your own advice.
How so?
Y'all, you was just talking about respect, right? Y'all don't respect us at all. At all. Just like he was saying.
That's a bold-faced lie.
Nah, it's not.
Absolutely.
It's not. Y'all judge us by just looking at us. We don't have to do nothing. We don't have to do nothing at all.
And you're 100% sure of that?
I'm 100% sure.
When you're 100% sure of something, that's when you're proved wrong.
I'm not proved wrong, baby.
Yes, you are.
We go through it every day, all day.
So throughout my career, you're telling me that every black person or brown person that I came in contact with, I treated them unfairly?
I don't know who you came in contact with, but most of y'all do.
But you just said all. Now you're going back to most.
I don't like none of y'all, to keep it honest. I ain't met not one good cop yet.
So what would you do if a white person came up and said, I don't like any black people?
That's his opinion.
Just like yours.
Yeah.
Just like yours. Would you say that's an irresponsible statement? Because I would.
No. Everybody got their...
Are you racist?
I'm thinking this woman already. Like, what's her point? She doesn't make any points. She's, God.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. She does look like a criminal.
Listen, she's like one of those people that
How
you
come
can
she's
immediately
black?
tell you just can't reason with. Because first off, she's like, she already has like this idea. Because when she's thinking of cops, she's thinking of white people. That's why her distinction or delineating between the groups is like, y'all do this to us. It's like, who's y'all and who is us? Well, she's assuming all black people, and she's going all cops, but not just any cops. It's specifically white cops is who she's talking to.
Yeah.
And then it's just the idea that it's like she can't grasp the concept of like, well, how can you sit back and say you're assuming that all cops hate black people and that's racist, but you openly admit that you hate all cops, and honestly, we can read between the lines. She hates all white cops, and she's saying that out loud, but she can't say that, she can't acknowledge that in itself is racism too. And then it's like the fact that she's not actually trying to like find a middle ground, because every point this guy makes, it's like, well, what if a white guy said I hate all black people? He's like, that's his opinion. It's like, yeah, but that's the point of the conversation, is that opinion, is that racist? She's not gonna go back to the point because she doesn't care about making sense. She just wants to sit there and have an attitude.
Yeah.
There was one person that seemed to be agreeing with her, whoever that man or woman was with the shades on, and that's like it was like nodding their head as she was talking in agreement.
Yeah,
you see that?
I mean, it's 20 criminals versus 1 cop.
And
Probably
here's another thing that gets me upset when they say stuff because when she's like, I don't like y'all killed my brother. It's like, okay, well, let's unpack that. What was your brother doing? Because my thing is, I find it hard to believe. I genuinely find it hard to believe. I'm like, I need the full story. Like, did the cop that killed your brother go to jail? Was he just off duty? Was your brother literally just sitting around and the cop came behind him with a gun and shoot him? Or like, was there a crime being committed? Was he progressing a situation to a point of escalating to violence? Like, what's the story? Because I find it hard to believe that your brother was murdered in cold blood by a cop and nothing happened. That's
yeah, but
that gets on my nerves.
The whole
I hate
episode really just gets to the point of the people that are whatever criminals. They don't say what kind of crimes they committed or anything. But throughout the entire episode, because I've actually watched this one all the way through, they're just like literally putting their bias up against this one cop and saying he committed every single thing. Like, y'all just be killing people.
Yeah, he's the embodiment of like you said.
Or y'all see black and brown people and y'all just want to embarrass us. Like, like every cop.
And criminals are
every
pretty
cop.
stupid, so they're not really smart.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not very smart. They're not smart at all in this episode. It's like it's worse than watching the liberals try to argue with Charlie Kirk.
That's because they're criminals and they're not smart.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's. Does anyone else have a comment on this one? Because we should probably close it out. It's been a long episode.
Yeah, I guess another thing with her too. That's like everything about her upsets me. I want to make that very clear.
Yeah.
But like also, it's just the fact that she. Even if you really like unpack what her view probably is of the situation, she's like they're arguing cops versus criminals, but she in herself is like making the assumption that the cops are like targeting black people instead of targeting criminals, which means that she she literally has to have an unconscious bias in her own head that she associates criminality with like a black mentality.
Yeah. It goes into that part of the conversation too in that episode. They basically talk about like they're like, well, why is everyone in jail, black or brown? It's like, well, why are most people getting caught doing crimes, black or brown? You know,
good question.
Which there are arguments for, socioeconomic, whatever the fuck, but at the same time, it's like they are committing the crimes, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's go ahead and close the episode out. Thank you guys for watching this episode on 20 versus 1. I know it was a bit of a doozy, but I feel like it was actually pretty fun to do.
Yeah, I like that. I had fun with it. It was pretty cool. I got triggered a couple times.
Popping in again, rather. Yeah. Ain't seen this man in a minute.
Yeah. He got devoted to couch.
Welcome to your new role, Roosevelt. You're on the couch now, man.
I'm feeling, man. This how to be emotion. This chill.
Yeah.
I'm really feeling submerged.
Yeah. And Zoe gets to have his way with you if you're on the couch. That used to be Leezy's spot.
Yeah, I think Steve snuck that into the contract back in the day.
Yeah, I think Zoe's tired of Leezy's. Okay, anyway. Thank you guys for watching this episode of The Code Podcast. You can find us on all social media platforms at The Code Podcast. We're also on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and Rumble. Thanks for popping in. Oh, yeah, Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to the My Black Friends podcast and any other exclusive content that we produce. Thanks for popping in. We got to pop out of here.
All right. Peace.